Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute?
What up, girlfriends? It's your girl, Kendall D, back with the Hey Girlfriend podcast. So, today I want to talk more about my healing journey that I'm currently on. And to be honest, when I say that, I think about it, it's like we're all healing. But it's just some new things have been coming up for me while I'm healing. And I don't know. I've always really loved being on a healing journey. I think I've always been healing. I just love discovering new things about me. I love discovering why I do what I do, react how I react, respond how I respond, feel how I feel. I love just getting to know me. And I think that's what a big part of self-love is. It's falling in love with getting to know yourself. That means anybody, think about it like this. You're getting to know someone that you want to date and love. So you're getting to know yourself that way. Like, as bad as you want to be with somebody else, think about feeling that bad to be with yourself. Like that urge and that longing you have to find love and be in love and be happy and all of that. Think about being that way with yourself. Now, this doesn't negate the fact that you're not going to ever have love. It's just going to ensure that you have the best love. So it starts with you. I thought that I would explain that more because something that I've realized is that however you are with yourself is how you're going to feel with someone else. And it's going to sometimes cause the wrong people to keep coming into your life and cause you to keep entertaining the wrong people, cause you to not get what you truly deserve with love because of the aura that you have around you, because of how you feel about yourself. How you feel about yourself is going to reflect in the world, basically. So, for example, now this is not to blame the hurt that others cause you as your fault. This is just what your world looks like and why you're dealing with it the hardest is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can actually, want love, date, and move in and out of dating with ease because of how you've learned to look at it. However you look at yourself is going to be your perspective on the world. And that includes the world of dating and love. So, for example, if you have a habit of not talking about your own needs or not even being real with yourself about what you need and afraid to speak up about it, you're going to keep getting just whatever in relationships because you're going to keep settling because you're afraid to speak up about what you need. So you're going to settle instead because you're afraid to even, tell the person what you need or leave for what you need. That's also a thing. So if you're going without giving yourself your own needs, then it's going to reflect in the world and how you date. The same goes for if you are anxious with yourself. If you are an anxious person with yourself, meaning that you have thoughts about yourself, worry about what others think, have all this guilt and shame, you're anxious with yourself. And it's going to cause you to be anxious with everyone else because you're thinking that they're thinking just like you. So when someone tries to love you and is not anxious like you, you're going to think something is wrong with them because how are you so normal? I can't even do that for myself. I can't even love myself. I can't even look at myself without any guilt or shame. How in the hell are you doing it right now? And when you're trying to figure out how the hell someone is doing it, it's going to cause you to sabotage it. And you're going to run from it. Because you can't even give that to yourself. You can't even feel comfortable with yourself. You're not going to feel comfortable with anyone else. And so you may be hearing all that thinking like, okay, but how do I change it? How do I change this? It takes a lot of work. But what I can say, it's not really a lot of work when you look at it as you falling in love with yourself. See how I circled that back around to what I stated in the beginning? It's not going to seem so bad if you look at it as you just learning to love yourself like you would like to get to know someone else. Think about it, you dating and getting to know someone else, and you're happy to get to know them. You're happy to be an acquaintance with them. You're happy to have their attention. You're happy to just be connected with them. You're just happy to have them. But you're doing that with yourself. You're happy to have yourself. You're happy to get to know yourself. You're happy that you have these flaws. Like, for instance, I give an example with myself. I'm falling in love with my rolls, my stomach. I'm falling in love with how my skin looks without makeup. I'm falling in love with how my natural hair looks. I'm falling in love with the way my body is shaped. I'm falling in love with the way that others can love me for me being different. I'm falling in love with my mind and how I think. And how I was always called, oh, you're trying to be like Oprah, Dr. Phil made fun of growing up. Not growing up, but when I first started out on Facebook, I've always spoke my truths and what I feel and my thoughts and all of this. Always have done it. I was just doing it, for fun on Facebook. And that's what my post would be about. That's what my page would be about. And I remember I had someone inbox me, why you always talking about love? And I'm like, nobody could see me. But now that I started putting myself more out there and I'm starting to really fall in love with me, it's like I don't give a fuck what anyone says about me. You can't guilt or shame me about me. And I take that back a little bit. Every now and then there may be a part that comes up where I feel a little shame for it. Like, oh, damn, I like how that made me feel just then. And that's when I realized it's time to tune into myself and be like, okay, what's going on here? Just like if you're dating and after each situationship or heartbreak, or even if you're just dating and getting to know someone and it ends, that's your job. If you're feeling hurt from that and you can't move on from it, and you got to be real with yourself, that's when you tune in and you start loving yourself, and it's just getting to know yourself. Like, I know they say self-love all the time, but what are they talking about? They're talking about you really just getting to know you like you would anybody else. It's like all that you're so ready to give to somebody else, you can't even be ready to receive it back because you haven't given it to yourself yet. So you're not even open to really receive it like you think you are. You're really just open to give, and you're open to see someone change because of the love that you're giving them. And so since you're more open to that instead of actually open to, being loved, for real, having your needs met, understanding that your needs are not too much, understanding that there's so much to love about you, understanding that you don't have to do everything for someone to get them to love you, understanding that someone can actually just love you, flaws and all. Like I had a real issue in the beginning with my now husband when we were dating. I had a little issue for a minute with him loving me because I was fat. Not because I was fat, but loving me even though I've had a hard time still accepting that I was bigger. I was still the beginning stages of my healing journey with my body. And it was better. It was getting there, but it wasn't quite there. It was just me learning how to now cover it up with clothes and look good and makeup. So I hadn't really did the deep work with it, And so getting with this man that was smaller than me, like y'all, I had a phobia of getting with men smaller than me and not tall enough because I was afraid that I would just be too big for them. That sounds so crazy now, but then it sounded normal to me. That's what I want. I would have passed up on a great guy being so stuck in how I feel about myself and not being able to understand that this man really actually loves me. He don't see anything. He don't see my size. He don't see it as a problem. But when you've been made to believe that about yourself, that it's such a problem by somebody else, it's hard to believe that someone can actually love you for it. So your world becomes scarce. You have the scarcity mindset all because of one or two people fucked it up for you, for the rest of them. And it's causing you to look at yourself in a bad way. And you don't deserve that. They already are hurting you, have hurt you, and talk shit about you and judged you for who you are. Why are you going to continue to do it? Are you going to believe what they say? They know more about you than you know more about yourself. You're going to really believe what they say. So I get it. If that's, how you felt at first. But it's time to wake up to realizing that you don't have to feel that way. That you can learn to accept yourself and learn that somebody else can too. So back to my story, when I met him at the beginning, I was just so insecure about that. I would say, I didn't want to say that, but yes, I was insecure about being with someone smaller than me. And I don't know what made me change my mind. I guess because I got to know him. And you know what? He slowly began to show me that he's safe. That's exactly what it was. Like, sometimes it do be our own anxiousness and whatnot, but a person can slowly show you that they're safe. That's what's the most important. We're looking for someone to fall head over heels in love with right in the beginning, because that's what we're used to, that instant connection. That's what we want. That's what we think is love. That we don't believe that we can actually slow down, take the time to get to know someone and slowly feel safe with them. Like, slowly realize that through consistency and honesty and transparency, like, oh, he's safe. And he's actually, acting like he giving them about me. But he's not moving so fast to where it's like love bombing. He's taking his time too. To see someone else take their time with you, it's like y'all both are in sync that way. And so I slowly began to see that he was safe and that he didn't really care about my weight and was not going to throw it up in my face like exes have, like even my own mom and parents and family have. You got all those people that have talked shit about you, made you feel so guilty and shameful, that somebody comes along and doesn't look at you that way. It's a mind fuck. I'm just going to be honest, it is. So I can't say that you're going to be exactly ready for that, because I wasn't. But I can say that the start of this is learning to accept yourself. So once you're on the healing journey of learning to accept yourself, you'll be able to welcome someone else in that's, can be accepting of all of you. And you won't be sitting there anxious and nervous about if they really like you or not, causing you to, miss red flags or be only attracted to people that move too fast or people that just look a certain way, all the shit that doesn't matter. Because you want to feel calm in your body first as much as possible, so that you can recognize when someone else is, is safe as well. Once you realize that you're safe, then you are open to someone else making you feel just as safe. Because you got yourself as well. You're not just solely dependent on them. So that's why the healing journey is important. You're not going to be fully healed. I can't say that from experience. I know that. But you are always going to be healing. And it's okay to be on your healing journey and someone come along and join you and to help you even more and further on that healing journey. And it's actually a really, really beautiful thing when it happens. So I just want everyone listening to this to be open to love, regardless of what their past have looked like, regardless of the love they didn't get from family, regardless of the lack of love they may even feel for themselves and they're trying to feel more of, regardless of all of that. Love is still real, and someone can still really just love you for you. Like, they really can. They really can. But you got to start to love you for you first. At least start trying to love you for you the best as you can, so that you can believe someone else can come along and do the same, and you can feel safe with them. All right? So I just had that on my heart to say, because on my healing journey, I'm starting to realize that, I really create my own world in a sense. How I feel about myself and how I handle myself is how I'm going to view the world. And that's my perspective. Because it's just like, think about it. When people talk shit on you, project on you, that's what they're doing. They actually are projecting because of who they are, because of their word, their perspective, how they feel. They're projecting it onto you because that's their reality. And you may not fit that reality. So you see how all of that works? So once you become one with self on that level of basically accepting yourself fully, inside and out, then you can believe and feel that someone else can do the same. and you won't be so nervous to date. You won't be so anxious about being hurt. You won't be so anxious when someone decides to love you. You will actually be able to welcome it in because you know that, I love myself like that. So it's not so far-fetched for someone else to feel the same way about me. And you're going to welcome it in. And it's going to feel safer that way. Get what I'm saying? So I hope that helped you today. Until the next podcast episode, girlfriends, peace out.